So my sweet patient allowed me to film some video footage of her recent microneedling treatment. She has had several in the past and she's very happy with the results. She has noticed a decrease in her fine lines, wrinkles. We noticed a huge difference in her pore size very early on. That was one of the first things that we noticed, and just that her skin was more glowing, that it was more smooth in texture and in appearance. So you can tell I've sped up the video just because I don't have a whole lot of time on these platforms, and most people don't want to watch me do something for 30 minutes. So if you would like training videos, I'm happy to do stuff like that. It's just most people honestly don't want to watch all that. So here we do the eyebrows. I like to try to get the eyebrow really well and right underneath, just to try to lift that up and tighten it.
Yeah.
Also to prevent any eyelid kneading done.
And you know, some of my eyebrows start to grow since we've been doing this with this bit of bone.
Yes, it does help with that. I'm glad you noticed that. I have a lot of people that mention that. So I don't know if you could hear her because the collagen pen is very loud, literally just like a tattoo gun. And she said that she's noticed her eyebrows are filling in a lot more since we have been doing microneedling. That is actually not uncommon. There are people who actually do the eyebrows and then sell lattice with their packages. And if you put the lattice in the area where we microneedled, it will grow hair. I have seen this happen, whether it be the eyebrows, or I've had patients who are starting to get receding hairlines do it and it grows hair there. But it is very temporary in my experience. Now there may be some other way to keep the hair growing. I would love to learn more about that. So if a provider happens to be watching and you know how to get the hair to actually continue growing without the patient having to come in for the rest of their life, please tell me, because I do think these treatments are beneficial. They are great for maintenance, but you know, it would get very expensive if the patient had to come in literally every month for the rest of their life to keep their hair growing. You know what I mean? So I would like to find a great solution for hair restoration, because I get that complaint so much. I know some dermatologists will combine microneedling with other things to promote hair growth, but I'm sure there are other ways as well. So anyway, let's go back to the anti-aging side of it. So a lot of people these days love to do Botox, fillers, and I'm not against that. I'm fine with that. It's just you cannot inject texture. So if you want your skin to look nice and you're getting rid of wrinkles, that's great, even if you do it with Botox and filler. But because you cannot inject the texture and make the skin look more smooth, and this is true, like a plastic surgeon will even tell you, you know, I can give you a neck lift, I can give you a facelift, but I cannot remove this texture overall. So that's where it's very beneficial for a plastic surgeon to have an esthetician or nurse, whomever they choose, to do skin services. That way we can do microneedling, we can do laser resurfacing, chemical peels. There are many different ways to achieve the same desired results. It just kind of depends on the patient's goals, budget, skin type, is how we decide what route to go. So I was really wanting to do a video of at least half of her face and neck, because we'd already did half of her face. See, there's getting to be some blood. You can see that in the video. You can even watch as the skin changes and it goes from her skin color to really pinking up, and then you'll see bits of the pinpoint bleeding coming up, and that's perfect. That's exactly what we want to happen, because that lets me know as the provider that I've reached the dermis. Because if we don't have pinpoint bleeding, not a lot's going on. Now I'm sure it's still helping in some way, but if it reaches the dermis and if blood is coming, the pinpoint bleeding, it has to be in the dermis, because the blood is coming up, and that's where the blood is found, in the skin. So why that's important is that's what's boosting the collagen. That's what's strengthening the elastin. Elastin is what keeps your skin from getting saggy, from wrinkling, and this just smooths everything out. That's why it's so important. And you'll notice, probably if you pay close attention, some areas I'm not just doing 2 or 3 passes, I'm doing it like 5 and 6 times. Usually those are areas that the patient has told me is an area of concern for them. So I like to get in there just a little extra, just to really boost that collagen up. And you'll notice some areas will have more pinpoint bleeding than others. I am going more aggressive in those areas. Now some people think that's not necessary, but I find that if I do this, they get a better result every time, so I'm going to continue doing this. I even like to do a stamping technique is what it's called, so you'll see me do that here and there sometimes. Really just depends on the area. Really like to get really close to the lips. I even have some patients who request that I do the lips. Now that does not feel wonderful when I do right on the lips, even with numbing, and it can swell them up quite a bit temporarily. So not everyone wants that, but I do like to get extremely close to the lip line, because people do get a lot of fine lines and deep wrinkles in that area at some point in their life. So even if a 22-year-old comes to me for microneedling, I will want to treat a little harsher in those areas where people are prone to aging, because to me that's more bang for your buck. I mean, we might as well while we're there, right? So I wish more people would combine microneedling and aggressive treatments along with their Botox and fillers. You wouldn't want to do it the same day though, like give it at least a few days. A lot of places want to do like 2 weeks before or after. I don't think you need to necessarily wait quite that long, but at least a few days. And I say that because of the texture that I mentioned earlier. So we're finishing up her neck here. This treatment for her full face and neck took me about 30 minutes, but she did numb for 20 minutes beforehand, so you are here for quite a while because of that. This patient also wanted to add on the Hydrojelly Mask at the end. The reason she would want to do that is because the intensive aftercare jelly mask specifically has been awesome for reducing redness. Like, I didn't really believe in these masks at first, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to try it out, because they were just blasting these masks all over Instagram, and I thought, is this going to be one of those things where it's like just a fun thing, or is it actually beneficial? So you all, I promise, I research things before I bring it on. I'm not just going to get something just because everyone and their mom are doing it. Like, I really take the time to research it. And so I bought like a little sample package, and I thought, I'm going to test these out, and it blew me away that they actually worked.
That always feels good too. Use some cooling wrap.
So I do this to cool down the skin, like she said, but I also do it to clean the blood off of the skin, which sounds gross, I know. And here I'm applying the Intensive Aftercare Hydrojelly Mask. So not only will it reduce that redness, it's also going to be very hydrating, and a lot of patients find it very relaxing.
It was so cool.
It absorbed a lot of your heat. Like this.
That's what I like.
Very warm. I'm gonna put some hydrating serum on you. Some skin recovery cream and some EltaMD sunscreen.
Yes, sunscreen.
Do you want the tinted or non-tinted sunscreen?
Tinted.
Okay. I can't wait for you to see this video because you can see where it took out a lot of your redness compared to what you normally have after this. Your skin looks awesome.
Yay.